On a moonlit plantation road, the air thick with humidity and danger. Shadows stretch long across the dirt path, and the distant sound of dogs echoes like a warning. A young enslaved woman and man, the past life selves of our lovers, run desperately through the darkness, hands locked tightly together. Their breathing is ragged, but their spirits are fierce. They are barefoot, bruised, terrified, yet unbroken. Firelight flickers behind them as the overseers close in, torches shaking like angry spirits. But something strange begins to happen. A glow, faint at first, then powerful, radiates from their joined hands. The same glow the lovers feel now, in the present day, the energy that binds their souls across centuries. As the two run, visions cut in and out, flashes of their modern selves waking up in cold sweats, whispers from the ancestors. The feeling of déjà vu so strong it shakes them to their core, and then it hits the full memory, crashing down like a wave. They remember the night they died. They remember the vow they made. They remember the love that refused to end. In this chapter, the past doesn't just return, it demands to be seen. The lovers stand trembling, caught between lifetimes, realizing the truth at last. With the dogs closing in, the couple reach the edge of the swamp, the water dark and still, reflecting the shadows of the trees. The man turned to her, eyes filled with the promise of freedom, but also the weight of their reality. They didn't have time to reach the next safe haven. The crack of a rifle shot split the air too close. They both froze. Then another shot. The woman screamed as a sharp pain ripped through her chest, but she stayed on her feet, gripping his hand as they staggered together. One last look at the moonlit sky, one last breath together, and then both fell to the ground, the life in them drained like the water in the swamp. The overseer and his men arrived, their faces twisted with the satisfaction of an ugly victory. They couldn't outrun the power that hunted them, the cruelty that stalked their freedom. As the woman's body went still, she whispered his name, feeling the cold seeping into her bones. Her last thought was of him, of the love they shared, of the love that would carry them beyond the grave. In their last moments, they died together, bound by their souls, in the one place they could finally escape to, each other. Their bodies were left to the swamp, but their spirits never left. Even in death, they would find each other. Their love would continue in the next life, where they could try again, try to leave, try to love, try to escape. Again, something about the place tugged at her ribs, as if a hand deep inside her heart had called its fingers and pulled. The air was warm but heavy, thick with a strange sadness she could feel but not name. When she stepped inside, the floorboards whispered under her feet. Moonlight cut through shattered windows, painting silver lines across the dusty wooden floor. Something stirred in the shadows, not a presence of danger. Something softer, aching, almost waiting. And then she saw him, a man standing at the far end of the room, frozen in place as though her very presence had stopped time. His eyes widened with shock, but not the kind you have when meeting a stranger. It was the shock of remembering someone you once loved more than your own breath. He whispered, "It's you." And though she didn't know why, tears filled her eyes, because her soul knew him first. The past was waking up. In a small cafe bathed in warm sunlight, a young black couple sits across from each other at a table, their hands gently touching as they try to understand the unspoken connection between them. The woman has a visible birthmark on her shoulder, glowing faintly like a soft ember, pulsing with an ethereal light. The man with a deep contemplative gaze, he has the same identical mark. Not similar, but identical. They both sit in shock and wonder, the weight of recognition heavy in the air. The atmosphere feels mystical, tender, and intimate as their fingers gently trace the mark on his shoulder. Their eyes meet, filled with a mix of awe and vulnerability. That night, she dreamed, not like normal dreams, but like slipping between worlds. She stood barefoot in a glowing field beneath a violet sky. The air shimmered as though reality was thinning. And then she saw her ancestors walking toward her, a line of women and men draped in starlight. Their footsteps silent, their faces solemn. The elders stepped forward, Her eyes held galaxies. A voice vibrated through the center of her chest. Child, the past is not finished with you. Another ancestor placed a warm, heavy hand on her shoulder. They took you once, the ancestor whispered, and now a shadow follows him. When she woke, her pillow was damp with tears, and her room smelled faintly of the wildflowers that grew around the graves of her mother's people. He would wake at night gasping, gripping his chest as though someone were holding him down. She would hear footsteps behind her, slow, deliberate, whenever she walked home after dark. Lights flickered when they held hands. Mirrors trembled when they kissed. Something from their past life had followed them here. Something that believed they were not meant to be together. But this time, they were not slaves to anyone's will. Not men, not fate, not the world, and not the shadows that wanted them broken. This time, they would fight. She and the man she loved were standing outside the old mansion, the same place where their souls had recognized each other. The air was cold enough to sting their lungs. That's when the shadow appeared, tall, human-shaped, but dripping with the darkness of a life they suffered through. It wasn't a ghost, it was an echo of the man who took their lives in their past life, the overseer who swore they would never run again. It had followed them across time. It lunged toward him first, but she stepped in front, not running, not afraid. You stole my life once, she said, voice trembling with power. Not again. A brilliant golden light burst from her chest, the same energy that carried their souls into this life. The shadow broke apart, like smoke pushed through sunlight. When the air cleared, she collapsed forward, and he caught her, again. When she opened her eyes, morning light warmed her face. He was lying beside her, holding her hand gently, staring at her like he'd nearly lost her again. You saved us, he whispered. No, she corrected softly. We saved each other. Their past lives had ended in tragedy, but this life, this breath, this moment, they finally rewrote the ending. He kissed her slowly, reverently, and for the first time in 2 lifetimes, neither of them had to run. They had survived together, and love was finally allowed to live.